Hi. There are four basic kind of jobs that kids can do, and it's very important that you recognize the four different kinds of jobs. I've broken down the different kinds of jobs into four types. The everyday or a few days a week job, the once a week job, the seasonal job, and the job you do when you want to do it. Now, the everyday job or the few times a week job. When I was 12, I found myself delivering morning papers in the small town we lived in, Alden, New York. I delivered papers to one half of the village. There were 60 dailies and 155 Sundays. And the papers, this was a morning paper, so I delivered all the papers before I went to school. And did I mention that I lived in the Buffalo area where there was a lot of snow? And it was very common to have a lot of snow. The Sundays were very thick papers and would take at least 4 complete loads full of my wagon to deliver. The dailies I could use my bike or my sled. On Saturday, I was supposed to collect from all the customers. I kind of liked this job. I got up early, did my work, and then went off to school. I was the first one up in the village. When I was sick or had a camping trip with Boy Scouts, my mom or dad or younger brother or a friend would have to do the route for me. Mostly it was a friend of mine. Now, there aren't many everyday jobs for 12-year-olds, but there are a few out there. For example, in Vermont, most farmers would have a job for most kids to do, like cleaning up after the animals. The seasonal job. The seasonal job is a job that takes place only during the season. For example, during the summer, selling soda or ice cold water on the beach is a great way to make a few bucks. During the spring, people think of gardens and flowers. Farmer markets are a great place to sell. A really good idea is producing compost, bagging it, and selling it. Most neighbors will buy a bag of compost for $10 a bag. Everyone who gardens needs good soil. Another seasonal job is shoveling driveways and walks during the winter, especially in the Northeast where we live. Signing up customers in advance is a good way to make the most out of snow shoveling. You charge based on how much time and how large the area you have to clear. There are many other seasonal jobs. A lot of times you just have to figure out what people are doing during that season. If you live in a tourist town, there's seasonal jobs, etc. One would be a lifeguard. Another would be selling or renting out chairs on a beach. The beach is a great place to make a little extra money. The once a week job. In my town here in Cambridge, Massachusetts, there are a lot of neighborhoods. I live in the Harvard zip code. And in my neighborhood, within 4 blocks, there are 3 coffee shops, an awesome bakery, a place to get breakfast, and a pretty large Catholic church. On Sunday, there are more people going to these places than during the week, than other days of the week. There's a boy who sells Sundays papers on the same corner every Sunday. He sells the Boston Globe and the New York Times to whoever walks by or drives by. He makes over $80 every Sunday. I kind of think this is the best job in town. Sometimes he does it with a friend who keeps him company. He's pretty much starts around 6:30 and he's done around 10 o'clock every Sunday. And who wouldn't buy a paper from a child that was selling there on the street? So it's I live in a safe neighborhood, so every once in a while I'll see a parent watching him a little bit, but he's pretty much there on his own. He looks like he's about 14 or 15 years old. Another good idea for people who live in communities where the garbage truck comes once a week and you have to put your garbage and recycling containers in front of your home so that they can be picked up and collected. Many neighbors would gladly pay a child to do the work for $5, $10 a month, maybe even $20 a week, maybe $5 a week. It depends, but it depends on what neighborhood you live in. But if a child signed up 10 customers and charged them $10 a month, that's $100 a month for bringing the garbage cans out and bringing them back the next day. This is a fun job, especially if recycling is involved, because so many people put soft drink containers and other containers that you get a refund back, like a nickel or 10 cents, if brought to the recycling center. So the child really has top dibs on anything that customer is recycling. So if you see some soda bottles, you can put them in a different container, take them back, maybe put them in a wagon or something like that, take them back to his house, and eventually go over to a recycling center and make even more money than the $10 he charges a month. The job you do when you want to do. The job you do when you want to do is something that you kind of take advantage of something. Like, for example, when it's a sunny day, a lot of homes need their windows, their outdoor windows cleaned. Or we mentioned earlier, selling drinks at a beach could be a job that you do when you want to do it, or selling soft drinks on a bike path or in a park where people like to go. The kids in my class have, especially Alfred's design group, has that kind of a job where they make money when they want to. Remember, their money is selling t-shirts that they make and design. They sell these t-shirts in waves, usually when one child decides to go out and sell some t-shirts. Mariana was the salesperson this past month, and she sold 4 shirts 2 weeks ago, of which the kids netted $65. So she sold the shirts, then they made the shirts. They made $65 off of this. This is the kind of job you can do when someone gets up the energy to go out and actually sell. There are some kind of kids who are good at computers. My son was one, and the language computer use. Learning to make websites is a great way to make money when you want to. If your child acquires a skill to make a website, you might search online in businesses in your community who have terrible websites, like locksmith places usually have bad websites, or barbershops, whatever it might be. Visit the business and ask for the sale. $100 to $500 a website is a very inexpensive website for a lot of these businesses. My son paid for his master's degree from the University of Edinburgh, Scotland, by building websites when he was in college. He charged $5,000 a website. His partner brought in the sales, and my son would make the websites. I think he sold 4 websites in total. To review, there are many ways to make money. Some require doing it every day. Some require once a week. And some you make money when you want to. Any way is good. Of course, once the child has some way to make some money, then the next step is to get him to save the money and put it in the bank. And you want to set up some sort of guidelines on the money, especially if the child is under 16. I want to thank you all for listening. Remind you that to attend the weekly sessions for brainstorming ideas about making money and anything else you want to talk about. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next session, Lesson 8. And have fun making money. Hi.